Hi, I'm Bob Sorsel. I'm going to show you Melrose Avenue in Capitol Hill in Seattle, Washington, and how it connects within the city both now and in the future. Let's check it out. We're going to ride Melrose Avenue from its northern end at Lakeview Boulevard along the west side of Capitol Hill to its southern end at Pike Street and First Hill. I'll also show bike connections you can use to get to other parts of the city. Let's look at the connections from the north end of Melrose Avenue. If you head north onto Lakeview Boulevard, you can get to Boylston Avenue, towards the University Bridge and University District, and Harvard Avenue towards Interlochen Boulevard, Montlake, and 10th Avenue, which is a less steep street heading to Broadway at the top of Capitol Hill. If you head west onto Lakeview Boulevard, you can cross over Interstate 5 to get to Eastlake Avenue, towards Eastlake, South Lake Union, and Seattle Center. You can head east onto Belmont Avenue to access Broadway on Capitol Hill, but it's a steady steep climb with no bike infrastructure. To be honest, if you need to get to the top of Capitol Hill from here, it's impossible to avoid climbs steeper than a 6% grade unless you take longer ways using 10th Avenue to the north or Pike and Pine Streets to the south. Let's ride Melrose Avenue. To start, we'll ride on the Melrose Connector Trail, which runs just above the northbound lanes of I-5. As the trail ends, we continue on to Melrose Avenue. Approaching these speed cushions, we see the first set of traffic calming as part of the Melrose Promenade project. The project involved elements like traffic calming, curb ramp and crosswalk upgrades, new loading zone areas, repurposing parking lanes into protected bike lanes, and more. By the time this video is published in June 2023, this project will be largely complete. Crossing Denny Way, we'll see the new protected bike lanes. Comparing the before and after footage, you can see how the parking lanes on Melrose Avenue were repurposed so that protected bike lanes could be installed. Unfortunately, you can also see that drivers continue to ignore plastic flex posts when they illegally park in the bike lanes. In this case, I told them about the nearby loading zone, and they refused to move. As we approach Pine Street, we need to pause and talk about a project that will entirely change how we bike through this area. The City of Seattle's Office of the Waterfront is working on a project called Pike Pine Streetscape and Bicycle Improvements that will change the road layout on both Pike and Pine Streets between downtown and Capitol Hill. Pike Street will become one way from downtown, with only an uphill bike lane to Melrose Avenue, and Pine Street will become one way with only a downhill bike lane from Melrose Avenue to downtown. East of Melrose Avenue, Pike Street will continue to have protected bike lanes running each way, with the eastbound uphill bike lane switching from the north side of Pike Street to the south side at Melrose Avenue. Let's continue. Approaching Pine Street, we have a concrete protected area to wait for the stoplight. From here, if you turn right, you can head downhill on Pine Street to get towards downtown Seattle. If you turn left, you can head uphill on Pine Street to get towards the Broadway two-way protected bike lanes. When the Pike Pine Streetscape project is completed, you will have to cross Pine Street to access the protected bike lane taking you west towards downtown. The bike lane on Melrose Avenue ends as we cross Pine Street. At Minor Avenue, we encounter a raised intersection. Melrose Avenue ends at Pike Street. From here, if you continue straight, you will head directly onto First Hill. If you turn left, you can use the Pike Street protected bike lane to get to Broadway two-way protected bike lane north towards the rest of Capitol Hill, Broadway south towards First Hill and Yesler Terrace, 12th Avenue south towards the International District and Beacon Hill, and Union Street protected bike lanes east into the Central District. As of June 2023, if you turn right, you can head downhill on Pike Street into downtown. When the Pike Pine Streetscape project is completed, you will no longer be able to turn right to go downhill on Pike Street. Also, the westbound downhill protected bike lane on Pike Street will end here, and cyclists will be directed towards Pine Street to continue riding into downtown. Thank you for joining me on this guide to Melrose Avenue in Seattle. If you want to see more of my content, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one.